Do I hear a eagle calling?
A rustling of an American flag.
Do I hear freedom ringing?
The bell of liberty.
Or is it just Longturnlarry
Podcast?
It is I, your honorable soldier.
And across from him, the vicious winter scumbag.
Man, we talking about some Captain America. The first Avenger.
First.
Was he really first, though?
I mean, he was frozen for so long, they had to give him something.
They had to give him something.
They're like, all right, fine, you're first.
Put that mug in an icicle.
Oh, you know, he stay icy without the jewelry.
So icy.
So icy.
So Cap was very cool looking when I saw him the first time.
Yes.
And then I tried to build this guy.
I was about to say, he looked good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say on paper, but they're already on cardboard.
Already on cardboard. I actually think Cap might be the worst.
Yeah.
Of all the ones.
Mm-hmm. Now, he's still cool.
He's still cool.
But I agree. I think power, just raw power, I think Cap is number 5 out of the 5.
So the reason why I think so, we're an equipment deck. We're 3-color America.
That's right. We're Jeskai.
They actually changed the mana symbol, so it's actually red, white, and blue.
I saw that. I was very happy that they rearranged them. Because Jeskai is normally, doesn't it start with blue? I think it starts with blue normally.
No, it starts with whatever Wooburg starts with. So it'll be white, blue, and then red.
Yeah. Yeah, it's never been red, white, and blue. So I am good job, Magic. You know, Wizards hit on one.
My issue is we're already in equipment, which is very mana hungry.
Yeah, we're already craving it.
And then like the throw ability is 3 mana. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, for those of you that do not know, let's give a breakdown. We have a Jeskai, which is red, white, and blue for a 4/4 legendary human soldier hero who has 2 unique abilities, throw and catch. We all know Cap loves to throw his vibranium shield. So throw for 3 generic, you unattach an equipment from Cap. So it has to already be equipped to him. And then he deals damage equal to that equipment's mana value, divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 targets. And then, of course, the next is catch, because we're going to grab that shield back. And at the beginning of combat, which is a really nice time for this to trigger, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to Captain America. Just being able to have that free equip is going to make Cap a lot of fun.
Yeah, catch is... Whew. Catch is good.
Yeah, catch is good.
If it was just throw, man.
Yeah.
Suffering.
The vicious scumbag kind of got absorbed by the throw side, and the honorable helped save what could have been a very ugly Captain America.
Hey, that ass always look perfect, baby.
Captain, that's America's ass.
That's America's ass. All right, so let's get to the boring stuff. This mana ramp.
It's ramp time.
So we're playing all the talismans that we could play. Conviction, progress, creativity. That sounds like America, doesn't it?
It does. You had the conviction, you had the creativity to make it, and we're progressing forward. And we don't stop. Of course, we have the 3 heavy hitters of any good Mana Rock collection. These Freedom Seeds count where it needs to be. We have Soul Ring, Felwar Stone, and Arcane Signet. These, of course, are just must-includes and are very easy. They don't hurt us.
We're also playing the Iron Crag. It's a mana rock when we need it to be.
And read it again, because we promise Captain doesn't lose all of his abilities.
Yeah, this thing is formatted so ugly.
Yeah, they needed to word this better.
They need to rearrange some words.
Or put a period or
something.
Yeah.
And then we have Urza. We're in equipment deck and we're in blue. Like,
yo, it's Fury. Urza is Fury.
We can just tap our equipment so we can throw them.
Yeah, that's right. You can tap your equipments to throw them, and then, I mean, Urza just loves anything artifact, and he's never bad, ever. If you think he's bad, you just haven't used him. I promise.
Just haven't blown up enough mana rocks yet.
That's right. So just very basic Freedom Seed package, but to go with these Freedom Seeds, we won't make it cheaper. I don't want it.
Inflation's too damn high.
That's right. So to start off and reducing said inflation, we have the Bureau Headmaster. For a red and a white, we get a 2/2 human assassin that states equipment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and equipped abilities you activate cost 1 less to activate. We love both sides of this. There's no downside here. We're just getting cheaper everything. So yes, please.
Danitha Capuchin Paragon.
I like caption better. You have to prove you're a human. Or captcha.
2 colorless, generic. Sorry. Whoa. 2 generic and a white for a legendary creature, human knight, 2/2, has first strike, vigilance, and lifelink, or is an equipment you cast, costs 1 less.
Yeah. Danitha is like one of the OGs of, oh, you're playing an equipment / aura deck. You need to have this.
We have Ethereum Sculptor in here. He just makes artifacts 1 less to cast. We have 36 artifacts in the deck.
It might be relevant. It might be irrelevant typing.
Who knows?
We have Fighter Class, another red and white enchantment. This thing does everything we want. So when it first enters the battlefield, we search our library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into our hand, and then shuffle. We can go search for something to protect Cap, do more damage, get that utility we need, or one of our many awesome equipments. The second one, after we level it up, equip abilities are again cost cheaper. And the final one is just a cherry on top. Whenever a creature you control attacks, up to 1 target creature blocks it if able. We can use this as a spot removal tool. You'll see later, Cap is going to be very scary. To the point where once this would be leveled up to level 3, Cap is going to be very big.
And then finally, we have Zerda the Dawnwicker. We're going to make that activated ability 1 mana, which is terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, the ability to just throw all the equipments off Cap. Unequip everything and beat up your friends.
Yeah, Cap out here throwing his shirt off and hit people in the face with it.
I'm just saying, that scene where he ripped the log in half lives rent-free in my brain.
I'm pretty sure he could hit you with a shirt and kill you.
Agreed, yeah. Him tossing his laundry is deadly. So, of course, that is going to be the basic ramp here. We're going to be reducing things costs. We're going to be reducing activated abilities. And, of course, we're rocking some really good mana rocks.
Now, I want to draw for this country.
Amen, brother.
And I think the card that perfectly bridges ramp in mana is Pure Steel Paladin.
Oh, yes.
So, whenever an equipment enters the battlefield under our control, enter, I like that.
Oh, yeah.
We may draw. It is Metalcraft. Equipments you control equip for 0 as long as you control 3 or more artifacts.
Oh. Again, Pure Steel Paladin is like a must include. Pure Steel and Danitha. Couldn't imagine an equipment deck without him.
I'm so happy he's $1.90.
Oh, I know. I remember when this was like coveted. This is a
Back in
coveted.
my day, it used to be $20.
We were equipping lightning bolts. No. Pure Steel Paladin is just amazing. The only complaint I have is that it's white, but outside of that, I mean, it's hard to complain. ETB draw, doesn't care about cast, equip 0. There's not much to complain about.
Talking about cash draw, we also have Shram, Senior Artificer.
Oh.
Whenever you cast an or equipment or vehicle, we don't care about the first and last one of these. We're going to draw a card.
Yeah, we in it to win it. Shram. Sadly, cares about cast, but this is still just, we need to keep refilling our hand because Cap is going to throw it away now.
And finally, when it comes to just drawing off equipment or historics, we have Jorah, Weather Light Captain. Whenever you cast a historic spell, draw a card. That includes legendaries, artifacts, and sagas.
They're all historic. Of course, we have to have a couple that just are either going to draw us on others or are going to just draw from us doing this naturally. So a perfect example of this is Whirlwind of Thought. This deck, as stated by Honorable, has over 36 non-creature. That's 36 equipment and artifact alone. So you have to imagine. So Whirlwind of Thought is going to be a generic and our colors for an enchantment that states whenever we cast a non-creature spell, just draw a card. And then, of course, combine this with Esper Sentinel. Same concept. We're just trying to get as much card draw and fill up our hand as much as we can. And then, weirdly enough, Esper Sentinel can be equipped so that they can't pay his cost.
Yeah, we have in total 52 non-creature spells in here.
Like
so this thing hits off like everything.
Everything, yeah. So it's, this is going to just give us just so much fill. And then, of course, we already have, Pure Steel and Shram and all these other things on top of it. Joyra is like low-key hyper powerful. So it's like having all of these in here is so good.
I think I see an eagle. Eagle Vision is 4 generic and a blue for sorcery. Draw 3 cards. Ew.
That sounds horrible. Draw 3 for 5.
Yeah, but Cap's an assassin and a commander.
He learned from Bucky.
You may cast a spell for its free running cost if you dealt combat damage to a player this turn with an assassin or a commander.
Great part about this, you may be thinking, I thought we were unequipping and beating people up. We are. Cap is going to be huge, and really hard to deal with. So once we get him to that point, we're not going to really have a hand because we blew it all trying to put things on Cap. So then Eagle Vision is great to play afterwards because it's going to be for 2, we refill part of our hand.
Yeah, 2 mana, 3 cards. It's pretty
Yes,
good.
it is. It's almost an ancestral. What is it? Ancestral Visions?
Yeah, Ancestral Recall.
Recall. Yeah, it's almost an ancestral recall. Akiri, Fearless Voyager. This is where we're branching into the whenever you attack or whenever you deal damage realm. So for a generic red-white, we have a 3/3 core warrior that states whenever you attack a player with 1 or more equipped creatures, draw a card. As if that wasn't enough, for a singular white, you may unattach an equipment from a creature you control. If you do, tap that creature and it gains indestructible until end of turn. AKA, it's going to be really hard to get rid of Captain America. All you have to do is keep open a white.
Finally, Nahiri, Forged in Fury. She is 4 generic, red and a white for a core artificer. 5/4, affinity for artifacts. Ooh.
Oh no, equipment.
Whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, exile the top 2 cards in your library. You may play that card this turn. You may cast equipment this way without paying their mana costs. Yikes.
With having as many of them in here as we do, this is gonna hit a lot. And then every time it hits, it just gets worse. No, Nahiri is so good. Yeah, affinity for equipments is wild. It's like, just say artifacts. You didn't have to make her so hard. So we're drawing for our country. We've been planting our freedom seeds. We made it cheap. But we have to talk about those that seek the truth. We're going to be going over all these incredible artifacts and equipments, but we need to go get them. Some of these are almost must includes to where we have to have it out so that Cap can go crazy. So we have one of the greatest, because it's only for a white. We have Enlightened Tutor. It's an instant. Search the library for an artifact or enchantment. Reveal it. Put the card on top. Just make sure that you do this right before your other person's turn is about to end. That way you can just draw into the card.
You could do it on your upkeep too.
Yep. Because it's untap, upkeep, then draw. And this is an instant, so you could do it in response.
Steel Shaper's Gift. I will steal this equipment from my deck and put it right into my hand.
Sunblades seek their own wielders. That'd be really scary. A sword floats into your house and tells you to murder people.
Kill him, John.
Kill. Speaking of the person who had a sword come to them in their dreams, we have one of the goats of just equipment love. We have Stoneforge Mystic,
AKA Nahiri.
Yeah, exactly. This is her when she was still an apprentice. For a generic and a white, get a 1/2 core artificer who states when they enter the battlefield, you may search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle. As if, again, this wasn't enough. Talk about a twofer. For a generic and a white, you may tap this creature and you may put an equipment card from your hand onto the battlefield. This, again, does everything we want. We use this to go get specific equipments, and then if they are a higher mana cost, which you should go get if you're using her, you cheat them out for 2.
I wonder how many legendary creatures actually have a unlegendary creature variant of them.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Like, is there an Ajani that's not?
He's just a cat.
Like he's just a cat, but it's still a Johnny, but it's not legendary. I'm curious. We'll have to look. We'll have to look into that.
I think that'd be a funny short to make. These guys weren't always legendary. Then finally, snap back to reality. Oh, there goes Gravity. Oh, there goes the Wandering Emperor.
Spaghetti.
Anchored to reality. 2 generic blue for sorcery as an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice an artifact or a creature. Search your library for an equipment or a vehicle. Put that card into the battlefield, then shuffle. If it had mana value less than the sacrifice permanent, you get the Scry 2. I feel like they just tacked on that Scry 2 just to do it.
I feel like they did it so they could try to be like, please don't cheat out, massive equipments. But that's what we're gonna do, even though it's like a little reality chip. It's so cute. Anchor to reality is just one of those cards to where, as soon as you don't see one of your favorite equipments, go get rid of the crappy one and go get the better one.
Yeah. I didn't even know this thing said equipment. I've been using it to get vehicles this whole entire time. And I was looking at it, I was like, wait a minute.
I think it's not as popular because it's not, just artifact. If it said artifact, it'd be broken.
It'd
yes.
be fabricate, I think.
Yeah, it would. It would pretty much be fabricate.
We have seeked the truth. What shall we do next?
We should proclaim our love of freedom. Here are 4 patriots that would die to protect Captain America's freedoms.
Ardent, Intrepid. I can't read. I know I'm a sensei, but sometimes words.
It's okay. You don't have to know how to read to throw good punches.
Yeah, that's what the Marines are for.
That's right.
Ooh, sorry, Dad. So 2 generic and a white for core scout. 2/2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may attach any number of ores and equipments you control to targeted permanent or player.
What's that? You want to put everything back onto Captain America after we went shoop de whoop and smack? Yeah. Arden is amazing.
Imagine just spinning on your man, just him throwing his clothes off, and then Arden's like, put those clothes back on.
Like a reverse strip club. He pays money to take off his clothes to beat you up. It's
Weird.
so good. Next we have Bruenor the Battlehammer. 2 generic red white for a 5/3 legendary dwarf warrior. Each creature you control gets +2/+0 for each equipment attached to it. You may pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost of the first equip ability you activate each turn. I wish this would have just said equips cost 0, but I guess that first effect was already powerful enough that we couldn't just, give him Pure Steel Paladin's job.
Oh no, dude! Like that +2/+0 makes your creature massive.
Huge. I was about to say, yeah, it makes him huge.
You have 3 equipments on. That's +6/+0. Nah,
Yeah,
man.
regardless of what the equipments give.
Nah, man.
Yeah, very good. A lot of these too, guys, like if Larry's listen, some of these are great commanders too. Keep note if you're looking for a new equipment commander.
Let's do 22 cents.
Yeah, 22 cents and he hits like a truck.
22. Codsworth is not 22 cents. He's a penny. A pretty penny.
Yeah, a pretty penny.
2 generic and a white for a legendary artifact creature robot. Commanders you control have Ward 2. Nice. You can tap him and add white. Spend this mana only to cast auras or equipment. You can also tap him to attach an aura or equipment you control to target creature. Activate only as a sorcery. He is so handy.
Proud to serve. I love even the flavor is so good. Hello there, sir. Yeah, Codsworth, again, he's filling the role of everything that we want. Handy helper is not an understatement. He helps us as a mana rock, gives us protection, and then equips things. I mean, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Robot.
And finally, sometimes you have to pass on the burden of protecting this fine country to the younger generation.
We have to.
And Falcon, you've done a great job. Here's this Captain America's aid. For a single white, you get an enchantment. You may cast auras and equipment spells as though they have flash. Whatever equipment you control enters, you may attach it to target creature you control. So this axe is going to come out of nowhere, and then he's going to throw it at you.
Hey, free equip, and we get this out super early. Oh. And the artwork is, it's beautiful.
Like Black Dynamite said, I threw that shit before I even came in the room, baby. I don't know how you even do that.
That's how strong he is. He's so strong.
You get hit with the shield and then Captain America enters. Like, damn.
Yeah, you're the one random henchman that's looking out and sees the other group of henchmen just die to a shield, and then you see Cap, and you're like, oh, I should have retired. At least Cap isn't as bad as Batman. You might live.
I don't think you're gonna live. Cap has superpowers. Batman doesn't.
Oh yeah, you're right. Captain America is like really strong.
Captain America is like full strength throwing this shield, and it's bouncing off metal objects, and it hits you in the face.
Yeah,
you're not living.
Yeah, I think it's guaranteed death. Cap is like, it's okay. He's American, right? He's dead. So we've shown you how to draw, how to ramp, how to reduce. We've shown you who loves freedom and who loves trying to help you take care of Captain America. But of course, where freedom rings, there is also terror that lurks. And so we must have anti-terror measures. You already know what this means. This is our way of saying, get back.
Get your hands out of my pocket, China.
I'm here to protect America. So first we have an offer you can't refuse. Again, this is just like if you don't know what this is, shame on you.
Freedom. That's what it is.
That is. It's freedom to do what you want.
Refuse.
That's right. Arcane denial. Because that's what we're in about this recession. For a generic in a blue, you have an instant that counters a spell. They get to draw up to 2 cards, and then you get to draw a card. Because who doesn't love not getting to do what they want and then getting a card instead?
Access denied. You're going back to Mexico.
Dun, dun, dun. That's right, Mariachi. I'm not happy to see you. So you can let Cucaracha right out of my company.
Oh my God, I can't. Blasphemous act. Nothing America has ever done.
Never.
Has ever been blasphemous.
Drone strikes is a blast.
Bombing Japan. Yep. Nothing. It was all justified.
Always.
8 generic and a red. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each insurgent on the battlefield. It deals 13 damage to each creature. We don't care who you are. Carpet bomb.
Yep. Indiscriminate freedom. You're all gonna get it.
You're all gonna get it. This is not a freedom measure. We typically aren't the ones doing this, but Chandra's Ignition. 3 generic red for sorcery. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each other player. We paid that jihadist well, and he's going to do his job.
Yes, that's right. Captain America is going to show you just how strong he is by exploding. Congratulations, America. You get to get hit by super strength in the form of generic heat. Yeah, Chandra's Ignition is going to allow us to kill the board and some players. We can definitely get some wins out with this. Of course, we couldn't talk about how perfect and beautiful this country was and the fact that it's needing a divine reckoning. You gotta purge. This is purge day. For 2 generic white, you get a sorcery that states each player chooses a creature he or she controls, destroy the rest. And then, as if it couldn't get worse, you can flashback this for 7. So in case they didn't learn the first time, you can make sure that they learn the second time.
Hey, sometimes a rapture doesn't get all these un-Christians.
That's right. They had a chance, and Captain America tried to give it to them.
Yeah, get these witches off the table.
What?
Finally, path to exile. I will send you on your way.
AKA what Kamala Harris did.
Man, this hurts me because I live here. Oh man, I love this country so much. Oh, it hurts.
Me too. Back to exile, everybody.
Path to exile.
We've now talked about all of the things that are pretty much taking care of our Cap here. We got to make sure we take care of him. We got to make sure that we're providing ways to equip, because equipments are just ridiculously expensive sometimes. So having all of this mana ramp, card draw to refill our hands. So we're trying not to miss land drops. So we're here to now talk about the stuff you've all been waiting for. The thing that we need to protect most. Our Second Amendment right.
The most important amendment.
That's right. If you can quote any of the other amendments, you're a nerd.
You're a commie.
That's right.
I use the second to protect the first.
I use the second to protect the first because I don't know any of the other ones.
The 14th? What's that about? Slavery?
Guns and cursing. I want both of those things.
I want to be able to complain about the government and have guns.
That's right.
All right. Let's get started with the Shield of War and Peace. Ooh, buddy. I wonder how much this costs you for a secret lair. It's Cap Shield. It's a Sword of War and Peace. It is a 3 generic for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from red and white, which is weird. Why would Cap need protection from red and white?
Yeah, I didn't understand why they picked this as the...
I know why they did.
It's because of the name, but I agree. Weird choice, Wizards.
Because secretly, Captain America is not one of you.
I was just
He's
thinking
coming. He's for you.
You know he doesn't love America, secretly.
Isn't he like secretly a Hydra?
What, Hydra? No. Of course he is.
All right,
Hail Hydra.
whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, this equipment deals damage to that player equal to the number of cards in hand, and you gain 1 life for each card in your hand.
Yeah,
This is like the worst sword.
It is. This is in here, Larry's, because it's Cap's shield. We can't not include Cap's shield. You bought the Captain America. Although you didn't, but you proxied the Captain America.
This paper shield.
That's right. Let's talk about what actually is America and is a good sword. Sword of Feast and Famine.
Ooh, buddy, that's capitalism right there, buddy.
That's right. You either making it or wishing that you were. For 3 generic, we have an equipment that has an actually good protection. You get 2/2 in pro green and black. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card, and you untap all lands you control. The benefit to this is the untapping all lands you control is like a Bear Umbra, allowing us to do more unattached equipments from Cap shenanigans. I heard you giggle. You're so bad.
Taken from.
Hey, America. It's perfect, right?
Protection from the blacks and being able to make that green. You hear me?
You know exactly what kind of equipment this is. You know why we did this.
And then once you clear the land out, you can just build homes on other people's. This is like
you become the landlord of your dreams, the best landlord, the greatest landlord.
Bruh, people are going to unsubscribe. I'm so sorry.
We're over the top with our freedom. Don't worry.
Oh man, I love you,
crack open up a PBR and sit back and relax. Don't worry. Your uncle will
Budweiser. Come on.
Your uncle will be back soon with more Keystone.
Oh my goodness. Ooh, yeah. You're a true patriot. You drink Keystone.
That's right. Keystone smooth, baby. Smooth.
Wash it down with some scotch.
Oh man, that's right.
All right, we're gonna knock out all these swords of, and this one is for the Animist. We need a ramp, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Quick creature gets +1/+1. Whenever attacks, go get a basic. Simple.
Yeah. We're in Jeskai. We don't have natural ramp. This is the only natural ramp that we have. But it's lovely. It's a cheap equipment. I'm not super unhappy with it.
Maul your opponents with Godo's Maul.
Godo smash.
Quick creature gets +1/+1 as long as it's legendary. It gets an additional +2/+2, and as long as it's red, it gets trample equipped for 1.
See, that's where his allegiance to Hydra came in. That's why he gets trample.
+3/+3 in trample. You are going to get Mauled to death.
Also, this being a 3 generic with a 1 equip makes this one of the better equipments because it's very easy for us to ping 3 things and then bring this back and re-equip it for just a mana. This is an absolute powerhouse. You guys already know it. This is like a mono red, just, if this is a Power Matters deck, oh, it's gross. The Reaver Cleaver. 2 generic and a red for a legendary equipment where equipped creature gets +1/+1 and trample, and states whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create that many treasure tokens. Equipped for 3. So if we hit him for 10, we get 10 treasures. It turns them into like an ancient copper dragon. We now have ancient copper captain.
Pip-Boy 3000. That's how much I despise my enemies.
Oh, man.
1 generic for an equipment. Whenever equipped creature attacks, choose 1. You could draw a card, discard a card. You may put a +1/+1 counter on that creature, or you can untap up to 2 target lands. It sounds like a perfectly good equipment to, hit him with the shield cap.
Quickly, throw the shield again, and then unequip. Well, we don't need unequip, and hit him with the shield. Pip-Boy
Right
is
face.
awesome. It's doing so many things that we want. We can make Cap bigger, we can refill our hands, and then we can get more mana to do the thing that we love. Thank you, Pip-Boy 3000. Another one that's just in that same theme of it's going to generate some awesome value. We have Lost Jite for a generic. Jite. Nah, it's the Lost Jit.
Jit.
Yeah, Lost Jit. For a generic, we have a legendary equipment that states equipped creature, whenever an equipped creature deals combat damage, put a charge counter on Lost Jit. Then you can remove a charge counter from it, and then you may choose one. Untap target land, target creature can't block, and then put a +1/+1 on equipped creature. It is very similar to Pip-Boy, except we don't have the card draw effect here, but we still get the untap, and then allowing, target creature can't block this turn. We can use it to get around some stuff so they can get 1 shot.
Double Strike adds 2 counters to this, so then it can sort of be a Pip-Boy.
Yeah, if you have Double Strike, Lost Jit turns into a Pip-Boy.
Mithril Coat. Flash. Indestructible. When it enters, you attach it to legendary creature. That creature is indestructible. How about that?
This is one of those cards where if you're going to spend money, this is one of them. Mithril Coat and Hammer of Nizan are cards that we'll always recommend to you to buy. They're worth.
I'd rather spend my money on a Nazgul Battle Mace.
Oh, also really good.
5 generic. Equipped creature has Menace, Death Touch, and Annihilator 1. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent, put that card into the battlefield under your control unless that player pays 3 life. They're going to pay.
They have to. They have to.
Equip for 3. We can now start sort of talking about the Death Touch mechanic when it comes to Cap. If Cap has Death Touch and he throws a mana rock at you, that creature's gonna die because he's the one dealing the damage.
Yeah. All we have to do is unattach not the equipment that has Death Touch, and then Cap can throw it. And as long as it has, higher than 1 mana value, everything he throws it at is just going to get ping, ping, pinged. So you can imagine Death Touch is one of the most relevant types for Cap because it makes that throw ability just pretty much free removal. Like we're spending 3 generic to just remove 3 creatures. It's incredible. Death Touch is definitely a huge benefit.
We have 2 more coming for you. We have Gorgon's Flail, +1/+1, and Death Touch. We just need the Death Touch. And Dissection tools. When it enters the battlefield, manifest dread. Then attach the tools to that creature. When you manifest dread, you're going to look at the top 2. You get to put 1 into the battlefield face down as a 2/2. If it's a creature, you can flip it. And then the other one goes to your graveyard. And then equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has Death Touch and Lifelink. If you equip, you have to sacrifice a creature. Oh, wait a minute. If we use Cap's ability, it just gets attached, so we don't ever have to sacrifice anything.
Thanks for the freebie.
Thanks for the memories.
And just remember, unequip that last, and then everything else you did before turns into a Death Touch pinger. So, in the spirit of giving this just hyper strong abilities here, the next one that we have is Augmentium Armor. If you're not familiar, this is a 6 generic equipment that gives equipped creatures 6/6, and then it gives them pretty much Annihilator 1. The equip 6 is really heavy, so normally this is not a card I'd recommend, but because Cap automatically attaches something for free, even if we don't have those other make it cheaper cards, we're just going to get this attached at the beginning of combat. So just keep this one in the back pocket. It is a very gross card to cheat out, and they don't realize it's about to hit them.
It's better than Annihilator because we get to choose it. Ooh.
Yeah, it's not they get to pick to sacrifice. Yeah.
Let's run through a couple of these. Fire Shrieker and Lizard's Blades both give us double strike.
Oh, yeah.
Champion's Helm gives us +2/+2. And Hexproof if attached to a legendary creature. Caduceus Staff of Hermes gives us a lifelink. As long as we have 30 or more life, it gives us +5/+5, indestructible, and prevent all damage that would be dealt to this creature. Enormous.
It's so good. It's the ultimate protection device. If it gave hexproof, it would be the greatest equipment ever created.
And then the best one drop in the deck, Colossus Hammer. Equipped creature gets +10/+10 and loses flying.
Oh no.
Well.
Cap can't fly.
Equip for 8. We are going to equip this for nothing.
Mm-hmm. Again, this is another one where you play it and they're like, oh no. And then Captain America's now, an 18/18 out of nowhere. You can make him huge very quickly.
You want to take the last 2?
Oh, these 2 are both wild equipments. And one of them is older too. So the first one we'll start with is Hexplate Wallbreaker. 3 generic red for an artifact equipment that says for Mirrodin. When this enters, you create a 2/2 red rebel and then attaches to it. So it's like living weapon. Equipped creature gets 2/2. And whenever equipped creature attacks, not even on combat damage, attacks. If it's the first combat phase this turn, untap each attacking creature. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Equip for 4. We don't even care about the equip for 4 and the Mirrodin portion. This is ridiculous. For 5, we're going to pretty much cheat this onto Cap, and it's guaranteed to give us an extra combat, and we didn't have to do anything special. It's just, this is such a powerful equipment. There's no downside to this thing here at all. And next, and certainly not least, the Cauldra Complete. This is a wild equipment. For 7 generic, you get a legendary equipment that has a living weapon and indestructible. An equipped creature gets 5/5, has first strike, trample, indestructible, haste, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a creature, exile that creature. It's got a really steep equip cost with 7, so this is a 14 cost normally. But if we cheat this out with like Stoneforge Mystic and play Cap on turn 3, he immediately equips this. So you can imagine, you can have Captain America suited up with some gross equipments the same turn he comes out. Keep that in mind.
I'm getting too old for this. That didn't pan out.
And then we have to protect Cap. A lot of that stuff we were talking about is going to protect Captain America. You know, we gave him protection from colors. You know, we're giving him hexproof. We're making him indestructible.
We have indestructible like 5 times.
We do. But we do have 2 cards here that are specifically only here to just protect Cap, and they're hard to deal with. We have one of the greatest, which is Dark Steel Plate. 3 generic for an equipment that is indestructible, and then equipped creature is indestructible. This is just like Mithril. It's the same concept. This is just an indestructible thing that makes him indestructible.
You're going to have to work hard for this.
Yes, you have to pay a lot to get rid of our Captain America. And then he got printed, you know, with the secret layer, the one that you didn't proxy, that with flawless maneuver, 2 generic and a white. You get Cap, you know, hitting back the beams. Instant. If you control your commander, you may cast a spell without paying its mana cost. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. This is just great because if Cap's out, which he's gonna be, this is free. And it's a blanket coverage too, so this can go for everything that's helping Cap as well.
And then finally, we have to speak about the most powerful cards in this deck, and they are our Longturnlarrys. You've seen us make equipment decks before, and you know 2 of these that are already here. Excalibur, Sword of Eden. It's 12 mana. It's not really 12 mana.
But to Cap's eyes, it's 12 mana.
So when you throw this, you could just like dome a player for 12 in the face.
And then it equips for 2. Oh my goodness.
So, hey man, I'm gonna swing this 12-4 Vigilant Captain America at you, and I'm gonna throw it at you.
Yeah, it's crazy. You're gonna hit them for 22 damage, and it's like he has Vigilant, so he won't even be tapped. Yeah, no. Excalibur is it's so powerful, and what's crazy is that it reduces its cost, but Cap doesn't care about the reduction, so it keeps the 12. And
I'm so happy I bought this card when it was $5.
Oh yeah, it's definitely never going to become cheaper either, because it was a Assassin's Creed card there. Next on that list, you always are going to hear about this card because it is one of the greatest. Hammer of Nazan. 4 generic for an equipment. When it or another equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach that to a target creature you control, and it gives the creature +2/+0 and has indestructible. The fact that we play this immediately can equip it to Cap for free. He then immediately becomes indestructible, and then everything else we play after this point just auto equips. There's no downside. We're protecting him. He gets bigger. This is something we can throw off. I mean, I would not recommend it if you don't have other protection out, because in that moment they can blow up Cap. But just no. Hammer makes all of these other ones just so much faster.
You're Captain America, not Thor. But maybe he could be Ash Williams with a chainsaw.
Oh, yes, he could.
I think this equipment here is one of the most underrated equipments I have ever seen. It is 34 cents.
Yes, it's pennies. And it's gorgeous. It looks beautiful.
1 generic and a red for an equipment. When it enters, it deals 3 damage to up to 1 target creature. So it's not shock, it's a lightning bolt. Lightning strike is 2 mana. It's a lightning strike equipment. Whenever 1 or more creatures die, put a rev counter on chainsaw. So it comes in, it probably kills something, gets a rev counter, Equipped creature gets plus X plus 0, where X is the number of rev counters on Chainsaw. If you play this thing early...
Yeah, I was about to say, if it's out early, it's over.
This thing is going to get so big over the course of a game. And, like, with Cap's ability, you can just start deleting creatures. This gets bigger and big. You can throw a chainsaw at it.
Yeah, and what's cool about Chainsaw is the counters get put on Chainsaw, so even if, like, Cap dies or someone else dies, like, and the board keeps having creatures die, like, the Chainsaw keeps growing. Like, that doesn't stop. So this thing just continues to get big.
I've had a Chainsaw that had, like, 11 counters on it, and then you just put it on a hasty creature.
Yeah, just whoever's free. And then you have this massive front-faced, swing. Chainsaw, like I said, the fact that it comes out and does 3 damage alone and then has a stacking ability. Oh, it's beautiful. This next one is really cool, and it only really works well with Cap's ability. We have plate armor. This one is a really unique one. But again, not really cool outside of this deck, probably. 2 generic and a white for an equipment that says equipped creature gets 3/3 and has ward 1. And then it has equip 3. The reason why this is in the Longturnlarrys is the secondary effect. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each other equipment you control. And it does not state that this ability can become 0, like that it can't. So this translates to, as long as we have 3 other equipments, which we're definitely going to, this equips for 0. So this will always be an equipment that you can just keep in the back pocket of, you can throw it, because you can re-equip it for free. So this isn't one you ever have to worry about. And then it's 3 mana exactly, so you can ping, because Cap says up to 3 targets, so you can ping 3 things for 1 damage. If you have Death Touch, you get the point here. Plate armor is able to bounce off Cap constantly.
Talking about Death Touch, the best Death Touch giver, Basilisk Caller, gives Death Touch and Lifelink, equips for 2. Man, if you equip this early, you can sort of just like control the board. Everybody be afraid to have their commanders out.
Yeah.
As soon as you have this in another equipment, if it's a 3 mana, if it's plate armor,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, commanders aren't being played today.
Yeah, and then the lifelink would still apply because it states that Cap does the damage. So like you're gaining and padding your life total and you're keeping them suppressed. Yeah, a generic to give your creature Death Touch lifelink. Basilisk Collar is like arguably one of the best equipments in the game. It's one of them. We never are upset with either of those keywords, and the fact that it's dirt cheap. Like, yes, please.
And finally, Training Grounds. This ability is going to cost 1. Once we play Training Grounds, it's 1 blue mana. And then the ability costs 1 mana.
Yeah. We make throw cost a generic. Combined with everything else we just talked about, all of those equipments that already had a equip cost or close to almost no equip cost, now we can just keep throwing and reattaching and throwing and reattaching and throwing and reattaching. Yeah. This is how Cap is going to kill your friends.
Even if Cap might be the oldest Avenger, this Avenger still got some fight in him.
That's right. This is the rough understanding of the Cap deck. So just keep in mind that throw effect is great, but you're really going to just have a giant nasty Captain America that, when you need, you take off the equipments and hurt some people if you can't swing him. If not, use it to remove some creatures. And then in the meantime, just keep building Cap and protecting him. And then he'll get so big that you're eventually just going to one-shot people.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the reason why it costs so much is it's really good about clearing the board. Like if Cap was in like green, this would be unfair.
Oh yeah, this was like Bant. Like if he was like a Bant commander, yeah,
he'd be so unfair.
Yes, he would. He would be grossly overpowered. You'd miss out on some of the really good equipment synergies because that's where a lot of the red splashing lives. But no, I agree. If he was Bant, he'd be busted because you would just have access to just a gross amount of mana, and then none of this would be difficult. You would just be going and just be slinging it.
What if I cleared the board every turn?
Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, Cap wants you to play this kind of Voltron-y, but more focused on keeping them suppressed. You got to pick one player that's, easy for you to pick on, and you can keep them out of the game.
I actually think he does a good job of, once you have Death Touch.
Yeah, once he has Death Touch, he's crazy powerful.
Then you just like sort of like control the board, and like, yeah, you're going to get hit by Cap. Like you don't have a choice.
Yeah. And then at that point, you just don't unattach him if they don't have the board state, and then you just beat him to death. Yeah, like he's beautiful. He's like, you have things I can't get through. I'm gonna whittle away at that, and then you'll have nothing
You're
to stop
going to take this command. He's. Yep. I am inevitable.
He is. He totally is inevitable.
But that's it. That's Cap, the first Avenger. I am your honorable sensei. Across from me,
the vicious scumbag.
And together we are Longturnlarry Podcast. Freedom